It's a nice thought, but deep down, you can't help but worry that things will only get worse. Would you like to see a recap? Yes, please. All right, so like I've said, I've played this game like a year ago. So the first episode, which was free, and now I bought the rest of the game so I could continue and complete it. But I don't think it's out completely yet. I think they are releasing it in chapters. I don't know which chapters are out. At least chapter 2, maybe 3, and I think there are 5 in total. So I chose to let the game show me a recap just because I don't remember exactly what happened, and maybe you don't either. So the funeral of, I don't know how to say that name, Pearl and Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to a family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. So, what do you say? Want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against the darkening sky, that sort of thing. You'll eat those woods when I come carrying a mountain lion corpse out of those woods at dawn. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. Duke grapples with the thing as it grabs at his shotgun, pushing the barrel out of the way as it grasps for Birdie with oddly jointed limbs, while Stella stares in shocked silence as if past, watching as the other creature attempts to wrestle Gretchen into the darkness, her desperate cries going unhealed. You dive for Gretchen, attempting to snatch her away from the thing's misshapen hands. You manage to grab her, but the creature isn't deterred. It rears back on its hind legs, its mouth opening, whispered tones sliding out alongside something sharp and unnatural. Then there's a deafening blast of Duke's shotgun, and suddenly it is gone. Oh my god, what do we do? Welcome home, says Wayne. I don't know who that is. My grandma used to talk about pale creatures called ditchlings. She always said they were a terrible omen, a sign of suffering to come. From the relative safety of your cousin's uncomfortable guest bed, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else, though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you're safe and you're warm. Tuesday morning awaits. Wake up. You open your eyes. The sun has risen, the birds are singing, you are still alive, and for now, you are safe. Your gaze wanders across the room to the window and the woods beyond. You wonder if the monsters are lurking there, right now, just beyond the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the crumbling estate. A familiar unease settles into your gut, tangling into a knot of anxiety, wriggling as the events of last night play out in your head. You can't help but remember Duke, slumped against a tree, pieces of him scattered across the clearing. You're not sure if you'll ever feel okay again after what you've seen, but you can't stay in bed forever. Hunger pulls you from the clammy depths of the mattress. Note, you can refresh yourself on the events of previous days by using the journal icon in the quick menu. Look out the window. You creep towards the window, careful not to be seen by whatever might be lurking in the garden. I'm so scared. For a second you thought you saw movement. Yeah, right over there. It could have been an animal. It could have been something else. Whatever it was, it's gone now. Leave. Maybe you'll head out and investigate after you've finished waking up. Get dressed. Time to start your day. You're back in the kitchen. Frou-Frou eyes you from a favorite spot on the counter. May I pet you? Part of you hopes that flattery might win her over, as silly as that may seem. You are, after all, talking to a cat. She merely flicks her tail faster. It doesn't look promising. Hey. You sure took your time getting up. Hey, Guz. How are you doing? How am I doing? I'm half an hour late for work is how I'm doing. I wanted to make sure I relayed this message in person in case you decided to ignore my text again. I don't want any repeats of last night. From now on, no running around in the woods after dark. It's dangerous out there. You could fall down a cliff. You could get stuck in a hidden cave somewhere. You could get lost in the woods and never be found. Just because nothing happens here doesn't mean it's safe. And just because Stella spends a lot of time in the woods, it doesn't mean she'll keep you out of trouble. I want you home by sunset from here on out. What is up with you and Stella? We just have a history, that's all. I don't need to explain myself to you. Aren't you the boss? How can you be late? Just because I own the mines, it doesn't mean that I don't have responsibilities. If I'm late or if I don't show up, then things aren't done right. I'm sorry about last night. I had no idea what was going to happen, and I didn't think I'd worry you like that. Good. Glad we're on the same page. Is that a smile? I'm late enough as it is. I'm going to work, and I expect to see you here at sunset. She takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset! Your cousin huffily exits the kitchen. Her footsteps fade down the hall, ending in the characteristic creak, then slam off the front door as it opens and closes behind her. Once again, you are the only human in the estate. Text from Stella. Hey, hope you're holding up okay, or as good as you can with all the stuff we saw last night. I was up most of the night on cryptid forums. No real answers yet. I'm at the library now, if you want to join. I have scones. Scones, say no more. And that's that. Time to start your day. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break, so I'm gonna save. Guys, my throat is getting a bit sore from all the reading, so I hope that my save is saved well. Like I said, I don't have any internet and they are coming to fix it, but it's kind of annoying because I can't do anything right now. So, well, if I'm late with my posts or anything, that's why, because I can't do anything. But yeah, you won't know that until I have internet again. So hopefully they'll fix that soon. But for now, I'm gonna take a break with that nice cat glaring at me like I'm some sort of evil. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, I guess. This is not gonna be the end of a part, but I'll finish it up when I've regained my voice. And I'm back. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue where I left off, which is apparently right here. And yeah, I remember I left off here, so. And it's that time to start your day. I can investigate the garden. Let's do that, because I'm kind of curious, because we saw someone watching us. As your... That wind is kind of, I don't know, distracting. As your eyes wander to the garden door, you shudder, remembering the brief glimpse of something you saw from your upstairs window. It was probably just a raccoon. No, it wasn't. But the uncertainty of what you saw gnaws at you and compels you to investigate, if only to prove that it was nothing. At the very least, you don't see anything now. Investigate further. Hell no. Investigate. But don't die. You wander farther into the garden, trying to pinpoint the spot where that thing had been lurking, if indeed there had been a thing to begin with. Take it all in. The garden is peaceful, but undeniably eerie. Here, more than anywhere else, you're surrounded by the ghost of what this place used to be. A greenhouse sits in the midst of the overwhelming greenery, unreachable from years of neglect, its glass clouded and cracked. Statues reach out from within seas of weeds as if begging to be rescued. That looks kind of like an evil child, by the way. And most strikingly, behind a pair of rusted metal gates, At the very peak of the mountain sits a graveyard. You can just make out a few of the headstones, the scarlet name carved deep and proud into their faces. It's also on the fence. I must say this is a very well written story because even though I am very quickly scared, I am enjoying it. You notice what a good view someone would have of your window if they stood where you're standing right now. Also, if you would compare this to Hercule Poirot, the London case, just compare the storyline and the way the story is being told, and it's taking you into, I don't know, the experience, the big difference it has with that game and this game. It's totally different. And this is just text, basically. It's not even investigating clues or anything. So, and this is a better experience, in my opinion. It's just better written. That makes a whole lot of difference. Check the ground for clues. You crouch down, pushing aside the greenery to examine the soft earth. There's a footprint. A footprint. A big footprint. And what looks like some kind of viscera. Your thoughts turn to the spectre from the night before. You snap a quick photo just in case it comes in handy later. Text it to Stella. Yeah, let's do that. You send it to Stella. Look what I found in the garden across from my window. No way that's Tabitha-sized. I'm back inside apparently. Time to figure out what to do with the rest of your day. So I can head to town. I can make things up to my cousin. Try to clean the guest bathroom. Sucked into more adventure. You're not going to leave the city. You're going to do what you were told and wait for her to get back from work. I don't know. Let's clean the bathroom. If you're going to have to keep using that ungodly bathroom, you're going to at least make sure the surfaces have been bleached. Oh, right, it was disgusting. I remember now. You scrounge for cleaning supplies, finding a few dusty containers and spray bottles, none of which you recognize. They all feel like antiques, but they're the best you have. Armed with a rag and trash bag, you set to work. It is a monumental task, and it nauseates you to think about just how many years of caked-up dirt, gunge, and former fluids you have to scrub away to return some semblance of normalcy to the bathroom. Kenai, you try not to concentrate too hard on what exactly you're cleaning up, but the empty bottles of blonde hair dye and piles of used makeup remover pads start to paint a picture of the person who used it before you. An older woman dyeing her once blonde hair and applying a daily shell of makeup to keep the image of herself stagnant exactly where she wanted it. Berlin. Or Berlin, I don't know, I said the name still don't. She couldn't stay stagnant forever. As you dump the overflowing trash can, you can't help but notice, perched on top of the old bottles of hair dye, a few freshly used napkins. They're covered in what looks like crusted bodily fluid. Oh my god, gross. Some mix of blood and unhealthy yellow pus. Ugh. That is a big difference. That might be as much as you can do without a pressure washer and renovations. But at least taking showers here won't make you feel dirtier than when you started. I'm glad I did this. But your admiration of a job adequately done is interrupted by the sudden heavy thunk 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 of a metal door knocker, the sound seeming to reverberate its way down your spine. I wanna bet that's Stella, and she's coming to entice me to go to town when I didn't want to. Wanna bet? Someone is at the front door. Before you get the chance to decide whether or not to answer, it opens. Oh, it's Sybil. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't scare you. I've been up thinking about what you went through all night. I brought some fresh tea. Let's settle in somewhere and talk. It's just so funny that the game calls her an old hippie. You and the old hippie make your way back to the kitchen. She gives one of Tabitha's a few mugs a thorough rinse before pouring you steaming tea from a thermos. The smell is amazing, a nostalgic, earthy odor reminiscent of fall, as if it was brewed with autumn leaves. Take a sip. It tastes not unlike a rotten log, but somehow isn't unpleasant, like you're tasting a hike through dawn-damped woods. It leaves a refreshing, citrusy aftertaste like a cool breeze sweeping the leaves from the path the tea left on your tongue. Hope you like it. This is my new chaga and lemon balm blend. I love experimenting with local ingredients. I can still offer my boiled peanuts. Why not? As a gift. She's offered you tea after all, and it's only polite to offer something in return. Oh my! Thank you for the kind offer, dear, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass. Is there any news about Duke? His family has been notified. That's as much as I know. Poor Duke, he was a good man. But I fear his death is merely a sign of more tragedy to come. Which, I suppose, brings us to what I came to talk to you about. You went through quite the ordeal last night, and I holed up alone in, well, bless her heart, but Tabitha hasn't exactly reclaimed this place since Berlin passed. I feel like I'm inhaling cobwebs. Well, you probably are. I wanted to check in on you. How are you holding up, dear? Really? I don't know. I've only been here for a day. So much has already happened. Well, if it's any consolation, there's a sound somewhere above you. A creaking floorboard betraying a shifting presence. There's something in the room above you. You heard that too, didn't you? You know, dear, I was planning to stop by the mines for a quick chat with your cousin. Maybe it would be a good idea if you came along. I don't like the thought of you being alone in this big house. Not with the town the way it is right now. There's another creak from above. Leaving suddenly seems like a very good idea. So I was right that someone is coming to entice me to go to town. Do you think this place is haunted? I actually saying, do you think this place is haunted? If it is haunted, I wouldn't doubt that you'd find out as soon as you were alone here for too long. It sounds to me like whatever might be here is already restless to have you to itself. Kind of to go back to town. Wait, I can just do that? Heck yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here. Yes, let's. Neither of you waits around to see if the sounds will continue. You quickly make your way back to the door and out into the inviting autumn air. You're once again surprised by the freshness of the mountain breeze, your lungs having grown accustomed to the still, dusty air of the estate, not realizing how much they were being suffocated. At least it's a pleasant day for a walk. There really is nothing like the mountains in autumn. There's something comforting about the woman's presence. She exudes a warmth, her smile feeling like kindly approval, even though you feel you've done nothing to earn it. Aw. There is something comforter. Oh, I just read that. Were you born here? How did you wind up in this town? My family has been in these hills for generations, possibly even longer than yours. I married into the general store though. Before that, we were just your standard hill folk, kept to ourselves, fended for ourselves. That's why I know so much about the local flora. That kind of knowledge was vital for all the generations that came before me to survive out here. Do you know much about my family? History? Oh yes, everyone around here knows quite a bit about your family. You founded the town, after all. Your family and the history of this town are completely intertwined. Your well, I'm not exactly sure how many greats that would be. Some distant grandfather of yours started the mine, which started the town. The town nearly collapsed into ruin after the collapse of 1918, and once again, your family pulled it back up. Now here we are. I'm not sure what else there is to say. What do you want to know? Is it really just me and Tabitha? Why are there so few of us left? I suppose fate is crueler to some than to others. In a lot of ways, your family has been very fortunate. But the Scarlets have seen their fair share of death as well. Maybe more than their fair share. The big house, we must have been loaded. Do you think we still are? It's really not my place to speculate about people's finances. But you've seen the state of the place. I think that speaks for itself. So a mine is the whole reason this town exists? I'd say so. If it fails, I'm not sure anybody would be able to stick around for long. That being said, I suppose everything has to end eventually. One shouldn't plan on things to continue on exactly One shouldn't plan on things to continue on exactly the same forever. Collapse like an economic collapse? We've certainly had our fair share of those, but no. There was a mine collapse in 1918. The town lost so many souls that day. Oh, so it's definitely haunted. Men and boys. This was before child labor laws came into effect in these parts. As if the collapse wouldn't have been bad enough tragedy on its own, there had to be children involved. It seems your family avoided most of the blame, especially since they managed to pull the town back together afterwards. Hard to remember to be angry at someone when they're the reason you have food on your table. So is that Mr. Sybil? There was, but unfortunately he passed about a year and a half ago, give or take. Life up in the hills can be hard on people for all kinds of reasons, even if you never step foot in the mines. Is there a church? Yeah, because religion is gonna help against ghosts and stuff. Yes, though it's not exactly in the best condition. It's a very, very old building, and I don't think any pastor has been able to keep up with the kind of maintenance it needs. Not many people go up there. It seems no one wants to pray in a church that's threatening to fall in on them. My daughter also says she finds the current pastor creepy, but I think he's a nice enough young man. Just struggles with people, which isn't the best position to find yourself in if your job is people. What do you think of Stella? Such a ray of sunshine. Even after what happened with her parents, she tries to smile through each day. It's admirable if you ask me. Wait, what happened to her parents? It was a car accident. Such a tragedy. They both died, but she made it out mostly unscathed, the poor thing. I know it hasn't been easy for her. It's clear that she carries that burden with her every day, as much as she tries to pretend otherwise. What do you think of Tabitha? She works too hard, but I suppose that's the burden she carries with your family's mind to run. It can't be doing her any good, though. I'm sure that has something to do with her disposition. Bless her heart. She's clearly got more to say. She's just being polite. Out with it. But nothing. I'm being honest. I worry about her health with all that stress. Sybil is a worthy foe on the battlefield of social niceties. Continue on in silence. The two of you are interrupted by a woman jogging towards you. Joan, wonderful to see you, as always. Have you met Miko? Sybil. And no, we haven't met. Joan here is our resident doctor, and Miko is Vivian's kid, of course in town for the funeral. I put that together. Flirt. Nice to meet you. That's Dr. Kelly to you. People my son's age don't get first name privileges. How's Reese doing? Any better these days? Dr. Kelly lets out a small, frustrated sigh. He's surviving. Same as usual, you know that. His son is a rare condition. Do you make a habit of sharing that kind of private information with anyone who wanders into town? Tell him Kanika says hello. I get the feeling she and Stella miss seeing him. Oh, since you're here, maybe we should set them up for a visit this week. Doesn't that sound nice? Mika could come too. Sybil, they're adults. We don't need to set them up on playdates. And you know how easy it is for him to tire himself out. It's not worth it. I need to get home and get him his meds. I can't stand around talking all day. The woman starts to jog again, her pace faster than before, almost as if she's running away from the awkward interaction. She's a bit of a brusque woman, isn't she? But her heart is in the right place. Anyway, we should be on our way too. It's not much farther now. Also, with all these voices I'm doing, I keep forgetting what's my own voice. Like, how do what do I sound like normally? It's kind of a mindfuck. But I'll be okay. She was right. It takes very little time to reach the Scarlet Hollow mines. Why are there two gangsters? Or is that Tabitha? A humble exterior greets you at the place that made your family its fortune. Your cousin just so happens to be at the gates. Oh, that's her. But it seems you aren't the only visitors she's dealing with at the moment. This is ridiculous. You can't fire me for having a damn cold. This has got to be some kind of, I don't know, rights violation. You aren't fired, Terrence. You're laid off. Cutbacks had to be made, and obviously I'm going to prioritize those cutbacks on workers who have a habit of missing shifts. I had mono. I was puking my guts out. I couldn't crawl my sorry ass into that pit, and you wouldn't have wanted me there anyway. And you only gave us 3 days a year to get sick. It's a shit system. You don't ever know from a doctor. I can't just take you at your word. If you wanted extra sick days, you could have had them with the proper paperwork. Don't forget, by not showing up, you put extra pressure on your coworkers to pick up your slack, and that's not fair to them. And if you have a tendency to get sick like that, maybe you shouldn't be working in a place like this to begin with. As for your lodgings, I'll give you 2 weeks to move out. To hell with you and your damn mine and the shithouse you've had me living in. It'll all be better off a heap of rubble. The miner kicks the dirt in a final act of frustration, but wanders off, leaving Tabitha standing steadfast at the gates. Sybil? Miko? What are you doing here? I wanted to have a word with your cousin here, and I had some business with you as well. Though it looks to me like you're busy, I wouldn't want to impose. Why don't you drop by the tea room sometime this week, Tabitha? Yeah, sure. I'll swing by tomorrow. Wonderful. I'll be on my way, but it was lovely catching up, Miko. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other around town. Honestly, I'm glad she's gone, because that voice is really taking a lot out of me. The woman finally leaves, and you're alone with your cousin once again. Well, so much for you not intruding on my work. Come on, I guess I'll babysit you in my office. Did we make the deal? Just don't make yourself a burden, all right? I have a lot to do today. I think there's a presence in your house. A presence? What, like a ghost? Just because it's a creepy old house doesn't mean it's haunted. Not even Stella thinks it's haunted. Or she'd be banging down my door to film some video in my house. In a building as big and old as the estate, there are going to be noises. It shifts in the wind, doors slam on their own. Get used to it. I don't need you running out here every time you hear a creaky floorboard. Tabitha, this is urgent. Sybil said the things I saw last night are an omen of impending doom. Something very bad is going to happen in this town. Sybil says a lot of things. She's one of those tea leaf reading fortune teller types. I really wouldn't take her fake warnings seriously. Don't get yourself all worked up over what some old lady told you about the end times or whatever she was going on about. I cleaned the guest bathroom. You what? But there could have been important stuff in there. Sure, it was messy, but it's not like it was unsanitary or anything. Yeah, it was. What gave you the right to throw things away just because they look like trash to you? I don't appreciate people coming into my space and moving things around. Don't try to be helpful again. Got it? I'm sorry, I thought you'd be happy. Well, I'm not, so let that be a lesson. I don't want you to wind up throwing away precious family heirlooms because you thought they were trash. She clears her throat, clearly still seething, but trying to cover it back up. I have to get back to work. Try not to bother me, I need to concentrate. She returns to a place behind the desk and proceeds to ignore you. As you settle in, you take in the details of her office. You're surprised to see a poster of what looks like Stella. She has apparently been banned from the mines. There are also a suspicious number of ordinary photos of her and Gretchen. Stella isn't the only likeness captured on the walls of your cousin's trailer. On either side of Tabitha's desk are portraits of older people, a woman and an old-timey man. These two. One looks like the pictures you've seen of Perlan. The other you're not sure, but from context you assume he must also be an old relative. A shotgun hangs menacingly over the desk. Besides that, there isn't much else to see. Here. Why is Stella banned? Stella likes to poke around in places she shouldn't. She kept sneaking up here to film videos or whatever her excuse was. As if that's not a lawsuit waiting to happen, so she's banned. Who are those people on the wall? I'm sure you recognize Berlin at this point. And the other one is Enoch, our great-great-grandfather, who saved the mine from ruin after the collapse. The idea was to have all the family members who owned the mines up on this wall, but I don't think Belen was too excited to have great-grandma Eddie staring down at her all day, so we're missing one. Can't blame her. I remember that woman well enough to know why she wouldn't want the reminder. Why is there a gun? It's Belen's. She put it there to intimidate people. Always thought it was a little old-fashioned, but if it works, it works. You wouldn't have asked about it if it didn't leave an impression on you. Is that a weird expression? You never call her mom. I'm an adult. I don't cling to the dynamics of childhood. God, you really talk a lot, don't you? Other mine is working in the same mine that collapsed. Did they have to dig up people's bodies? No, that particular shaft has been boarded up ever since. Most of the bodies weren't able to be recovered, not without the risk of making more. This is a difficult line of work. The men all know that. Do you think... I learned there was a big mine collapse up here once. Do you think something like that could ever happen again? Of course not. That only happened because of someone else's negligence. We don't make those kinds of mistakes, especially not with current mining technology. Our family trusted a man who we shouldn't have trusted, Charles Shaw. He cut corners, used cheap and damaged materials. People died because of him. So we never hired someone else from outside the family to help run this place ever again. And what do you know, we've never come close to having another collapse. I might be what people consider a tough boss, but I run a tight ship, and that's how you avoid accidents. I really admire your leadership. Let's suck up a bit. Yes, I'm good at my job. The Scarlets have cultivated generations of a certain kind of management style that has gotten the mine through some very difficult times. You can't let people run all over you. Grandma Eddie learned that from Enoch, and she instilled it in Perlan, and Perlan instilled it in me. Vivian couldn't cut it. She would have been terrible at this. Who's Vivian? This portent of doom stuff has me worried. How can you keep focusing on work when there might be some catastrophe waiting around the corner? I don't know anything about monsters in the woods, but if there's some kind of doom coming for this town, it'll be because I'm not able to do my job. And then the sounds of machinery are joined by another sound, the angry rumbling of your stomach. Do you have any food? She sighs. Yeah, I'm kind of annoying. I left your food at the estate. Why didn't you eat before you came out here? If you really can't wait, then go find something at the cafeteria. It's the building with a big cafeteria sign on it. Try not to get lost. Oh, and bring me back something too while you're at it. They have a mac and cheese I don't hate. Thank you for watching. Curious what happens next? Subscribe to my page so you don't miss anything.